My name is Lana Whiting, and I am a writer and dementia advocate in the Fargo-Moorhead community. My mother was diagnosed with early onset dementia in 2013, and we continue that journey even today, a decade later. And it is filled with many joy-filled moments, especially acts of kindness from family, friends, strangers who've stuck with us through this very long goodbye. One act of kindness that really stands out for me comes from one of my mother's old daycare kids. My mom operated a daycare in her home for 37 years before she got sick, and this daycare kid is now an adult who has kids of her own, and she sometimes goes to visit my mother and brings coloring and little art pieces that her kids make for my mom, and we tape them up in her room, and it really brightens up the area and also just really brightens up our spirits to know that we are supported in this way. And the act of kindness, as simple as it kind of seems, is just profoundly affirming to us.
We have our daughter-in-law come in. She's a respite care. She's retired from Moorhead State, and so she offered to do this. And he always says, "Oh, you're here to babysit me again," but he would not have. I'm so thankful for her because he would not allow anybody else to come in. He would no. So this has been very good.
My mother, Joyce, suffered from dementia. She had Alzheimer's disease. But one of the things that I found most helpful was I called them my network of spies. I had about, I think, 7 or 8 people. I never had to give them any money, but they were worth $1 million because they would keep track of her for just about everything. If it was her turn to serve at Bible study, they would at first they'd let her know, and then later on they would let me know so that she wouldn't forget. There was people that gave her rides to and from events and to church. People who figured out to watch her go back to the door to make sure she went inside without being prompted to do so. Things like that. The Meals on Wheels lady was an absolute angel when my mom started forgetting when she had signed up for meals or not. And she went completely above and beyond and made sure that my mom had food no matter what. And she was one of my spies. She would call me and tell me what was going on. And they all helped me keep my mom out of assisted living. I think for about 4 years, where otherwise she would have had to have been in assisted living. And so it was a great help.
In our situation, for instance, his sister had come to me when she realized that I was in a struggle, just getting all the news about how things were and how things were going to become and where we were going on this journey. She said, "Well, I would like to spend part of a day each week with him, and I can pick him up or you could drop him off, and we'll figure out things to do." And so once a week, usually around the 11:30 time frame, she will be with him until about 4 or 4:30. And that is, I tell her that she's a lifeline for me, because not that I necessarily always have places to be or whatever, but the break is just wonderful. He looks forward to it.
Hi, my mom has dementia. She's in the later stages of it, and it is very, very difficult for family members and friends to watch her go through that. It's difficult for the person with dementia to go through that. And it is especially hard for the caregivers that are with them around the clock. So you don't have to know the person to do an act of kindness. Example, I was visiting with my mom and we took her out in the community. And people with dementia, they don't know what they're saying or what they're doing sometimes. So we're going through this mall, and she sees people that she thinks she knows, and she starts talking to them as if she's known them forever. These people were so kind. They pretended and went along with her as if they'd known her too. She'd always say stuff like, I'm going to make those pumpkin rolls for you. And the one lady said, that's nice, that's nice. I'll be looking forward to that. Another time is we went into a restaurant she likes to go to, and my mom said something to the waitress like she knew her. And the waitress went along with it. And I thanked her for being kind to my mom. And it is very, very important if you can, especially to the caregivers that are there with these family members who are suffering from dementia, to help them out in just the smallest little thing. If you can give them a few minutes of your time so that they can just decompress and get away, no matter how tough they are, or how tough they think they are, or how many times they say, I'm okay, I'm going to be okay. Everyone in that situation needs to decompress so that they can be the best caregiver that the family member needs.
Hi, my oldest sister has dementia, and it makes it very, very hard for family members or friends, especially her husband. He is with her pretty much 24/7, and it's amazing the patience that he has. And luckily, the one good thing, I would say act of kindness, is the neighbor across the street comes over twice a week while he goes golfing. So he at least gets to get out every now and then, because you all need that. So please, if you have family members or friends that have dementia, it's always good to offer just to give them a little bit of time.
Hi, my name is Jen McCormick. So I have worked with the elderly for about 30 years now in different capacities. Right now I'm a dementia program coordinator, and so I work with a locked dementia unit as well as in the regular nursing home. So I know it's a crazy time trying to learn to live with this new life, this progress of dementia, and it's different for everybody. But I think the most important thing is meeting them at their level, accepting that they're not going to be who they were. They're not. I've taken a lot from a lady named Naomi Feil, F-E-I-L, and she came up with a process called validation therapy. And it's where you really are getting at their level. Please look her up because it's a great resource. Where you get into their level, you might play with them, think of music, songs. It's amazing how they can't remember anything from the last 60 years, but they will remember old songs, old poems, things like that, and it will make a connection that I just haven't seen otherwise. It can bring these folks out. And so just getting at their level, learning to get to know this new person. It's an opportunity to just experience a different situation with your loved one. And so they say it's best not to try and get them into reality, and I found it's not helpful either. Oh, mom, dad died 20 years ago, the house has been sold, all of that. It's just not helpful. I know that's kind of how our brain thinks, but we have to think of different ways to do things. It's all about making changes and to meet your loved one's needs the best that you can. And I'm grateful for this program, any kind of outreach. There are lots of resources. Unfortunately, you might have to do a little digging, but luckily there are people out there with programs like this that can help you. So